All right, welcome to episode 50 of Adventures in Inbetweening. Today I'm looking at another episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I animated on in 2013. This is episode 115, The Alien Agenda.
Sweet, so this is what school's like.
Water fountain!
I know! School has everything!
All right, lots of fun stuff in this episode. So very first thing to notice is that the turtles are going to school. And this is something that Mikey has heard all about from April. April's not thrilled with school, but Mikey can't wait to go see what it's all about. So all four turtles burst into the front doors here. Donnie was actually, when he's spinning his staff like that, he was too big to put in front. He was going to be obscuring Leo, so we needed to shift Leo in front compared to the storyboards. Have that clockwise spinning of Donnie's staff there. Here comes Raph on the right-hand side, and Mikey's going to come in slow at the end because all the other turtles are going to walk past. We need to see Mikey's anime-eyes expression here. These are actually image planes that are constrained to Mikey's rig. You can see here in the secondary, there was actually little pink stars that were image planes as well that were animated, but those didn't make the final cut. So that kind of thing, yeah, just we can't get those eyes as part of the rig. It has to be something that's actually added on later. Whenever we're moving Mikey's nunchucks, you see that there's secondary motion on the chain there. I think there were 3 main controls, as I recall. Whenever Mikey is blinking, we're skewing and squashing those image planes. When the blink is full, we have to have those image planes pop off because they just can't be hidden behind the mask. And then when we get to Mikey with the image planes gone, clear eye direction. Always want to have the same negative white space around them. Now here's our friendly guidance counselor, Miss Campbell, who turns out to be an evil robot with crazy elbow rockets. So she shoots her elbow rockets here. Terrific lighting. Look at the contrast here. It's all just purples and blacks and whites, and then pop after a few frames, it all returns to normal. Nice and defined and just really strong lighting. And then we got the smoke here going into the cut, expanding, expanding, expanding. Now we're going to cut to the shadow of one of the rockets. Rocket enters, takes up the full screen horizontally there. And then that rocket's going to go away from us to reveal the other rocket coming in the foreground. Terrific stuff. That's all based on the boards. And, you know, just nice and clear, very simple. A lot of really neat rocket trails added in by effects here. And we're going to move along now. So Leo and Donnie and Raph are all charging towards the rockets. Really nice storyboard poses to work with here. Have those tassels always trailing behind. So there goes Leo and Donnie. Now you see Raph here in the storyboard. He's already shown having thrown the nunchuck, but we got to actually show that action. So we got to have elbow leading. Here comes the hand following through. There goes the one arm, and here comes the other arm again on the storyboard. We just show him in full extension, but obviously we have to break down the entire action. Lead with the elbow. Here comes the arm. We got to follow it through, and if we're going to follow it through, we might as well keep it on screen and follow it through in an interesting way that keeps the silhouette. Cut back to the rockets. There's that one in the background, one in the foreground. Panning with. One throwing star comes in, hits the rocket, boom, and that turns into a moving hold. And then the second one comes in, boom, and now we've got these 2 angles that are just going to slowly drift, just like the boards. And this is creating the contrast that's about to come. Boom, there's our first flash frame. And we're like, whoa, well, what is happening? And then we see the explosion obscured in the background there. Boom, first one explodes. And right after that, we're going to get another flash frame. And we're going to get the second flash frame, number 2, with the explosion. And then we return to regular lighting, and the explosion is following through. So we get this chink, chink, boom, boom. Really nice beats that are happening there. And the entire screen is secured. Now here we're going to be focusing on Miss Campbell for 4 frames. We're going to smash back. Look at the first frame, how much we're changing. We're going to smash back for, I think, a total of 6 frames, 8 frames. You see there's an issue though. Leo is missing on the left-hand side for a total of 5 frames. Now, I got to assume that there's something I did wrong with the constraints, but I went back and looked at the secondary, and he was there when I animated him. So something technically went wrong somewhere, and this made it through to air. That's not something I'm proud of, but it's something that happens in the animation industry where there are technical problems beyond what we intend, and sometimes it gets through. Here we're ending Miss Campbell in an asymmetrical pose. It's really nice. And here, now I'll just quickly show the different stages here of them jumping towards us. So we've got storyboard stage. Here's our layout. Here's primary. This is all 50% speed. Here's our secondary. Here's one of the first iterations of final lighting. Now, compared to the previous scene where they were running down the hallway and jumping, I had to cheat them way back down the hall. You see, they were starting all the way back by the stairs there to give them enough room, because in the previous scene, they were already almost to the far wall. So sometimes you just have to continue to use that same environment over and over. We didn't see what happened off screen necessarily, but we saw that Miss Campbell's arms are being cut off and falling down here. Now, when the arms are on the ground, it's much easier to start with an appealing pose and work backwards rather than trying to animate into an appealing pose. And that's what I did here. And making sure I left space for the mask to fall into. And then we're going to do a quick pan up here. I think it's about 6 frames. And just rotate only, no translate. If we're going to have translate, that's going to turn into a crane. It's going to be a very different feeling than just looking up. And we've got a nice zigzag stagger as she goes up there. Now here's Mikey. Again, whenever you're doing any kind of blink, have that head arc if you're going to be changing the head and eye direction. Mikey sees the water fountain. He's never seen such a thing before. Mikey loves school. Look at Mikey getting happy here. We always want to see the expression change first, and then we can see the body change. We don't want to have the body change go ahead of the thought or the emotional impact. Leading with the elbows, that's just a general rule. I would, most of the time, if there's if the arms aren't looking very interesting in animation, I'm going to say lead more with the elbows. Here's another example. We can get a big asymmetrical breakdown here for leading with the elbows, leading with the elbow, leading with the elbow, and everything's going to come back to similar pose, but we can get there in an interesting way. Again, look at a storyboard pose at the top right. Dragging those wrists, dragging those fingers, coming towards screen with a relatively low focal length. It's probably around 28 or something here. Maybe it's a 35. Overlapping the wrists and the fingers. And again, look at this wonderful storyboard pose. We can't achieve that with this rig, but we can at least achieve the same feeling. We can, as much as we can. It's just such a good starting point to work from. And here, and last but not least, is our monster of the week, Justin, as named by Mikey. Justin is going to be moving away and up from the camera here. Camera's going to be tilting up. Justin's going to be getting bigger and bigger. Now Justin's eye stalks are going to pop out, and we're going to see the eyes be all gooey and gluey, these little jellyfish eyes, following through with some nice offset. Pop, pop. Really, really gross monster. Just a combination of, I think, 12 different animals. And just as Justin's mouth opens here, that's going to be the catalyst for us to pull back with the camera. 6-frame smash out reveals everybody, all the turtles, all the Krang droids, extreme focal length. I think we're about probably 18 focal length here, maybe as low as 16. Nice asymmetry we want to keep on those eyes. Keep that tongue overlapping and dragging, peeling shapes. That's just a general rule. Again, what we want to do is make everything appealing and entertaining. And that's a real quick rundown of episode 115 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I worked on. Really great crew, fun times, good memories from this show. Thanks for checking it out, and I will see you next time.